What is title insurance and do we buy it? And, I've answered this question a bunch. We're going to answer it again today. Title insurance, I guess the definition of title insurance is when you buy a house, typically they'll sell you a title insurance policy, and there's usually going to be two. One for the lender. Now, this is when you're buying a house traditionally. There'll be one for the lender's title policy, and then the homeowner's title policy. The lender is going to require you to purchase title insurance on their part. It's been so long since I've even dealt with a bank or a regular mortgage. I don't know if it's a requirement for you to buy personal title insurance anymore. I don't think it. It didn't used to be. But it's really based on the price of the house typically. And I guess the average title insurance policy now is going to cost you probably $1,000, maybe a little more, a little less. But we get the question all the time, how do you handle, especially when you self-close? And we do that a lot. But do we get title insurance? Well, first of all, let me say that if you self-close, you're not getting title insurance. That's just not going to happen. And in a lot of cases, even closing with a title company or an attorney, if you're buying a subject to, they're not going to want to issue title insurance. And if they do, they're going to want to exclude the loan. That's going to be an exclusion from that policy, so that's not going to count. I'll tell you this: I used to buy title insurance. I did private lending for several years, and of course, always required our borrower to buy a title insurance policy for the lender. I've only had one title insurance claim in 25 years. That was actually a hard money loan that I made to another investor. And it took me 3 years and a lawyer to get the title insurance company to pay me $35,000. They wouldn't reimburse me for lost interest, opportunity cost for that money. Finally, I said, listen, just give me my principal back and we'll settle this thing. And they finally did. They tried every way in the world not to pay me on that policy for $35,000. It was very little amount of money. So for that reason, I'm not a big fan of title insurance. But the short answer to the question is when we buy subject to, your homeowner that you're buying from, I can guarantee if they had an institutional loan, and that's going to be the case 99.9% of the time, they borrowed money from Bank of America or Wells Fargo, some big bank, they borrowed the money. There was a required title insurance policy that's in force and in place. And really what you've got to concern yourself with as an investor is just going to be what's happened since your homeowner bought that property. And in most cases, we find there may be liens, there may be judgments, and that sort of thing. But if you see quitclaim deeds, things like that, then it may be a cause for concern. We know what we're buying. We always get a title search. We never, ever buy title insurance. And you'll get all kinds of opinions on this. I would never buy a house without title insurance, and that's okay. If that's your thing, you do it. I've never had a title problem with the house. One reason, like I said, is because we know going in what we're getting. We always get a title search. And you must get that. You must know what you're dealing with. But the title insurance part of it, not a fan. So my advice would be if things look pretty clean from the time that your seller that you're buying from right now bought that house forward, then you're probably going to be okay. And for that reason, I don't recommend it.